Yeah, this is a little heads up before we get started. Make sure you go and subscribe. That's the call to action right there. All the Killa Kela podcast links are all in the desirable areas. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes. Make sure it happens. Enjoy the show, people.
Killa Kela Podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
THTC, the UK's leading ethical streetwear label. Organically grown and ethically built garments from hemp, organic cotton and other sustainable materials. 2019 is their 20th anniversary year. Join me with THTC as a Killa Kela podcast sponsor celebrating music, social activism, hemp and street culture. THTC, eco-fashion redefined since 1999. Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela Podcast.
Yes, big shout to our sponsors, Graffiti Kings. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Killa Kela Podcast, live and direct, Central London, as ever, central as you need to be. Subscribe, like, love, share. Do not sleep, I repeat, do not sleep on my repeat. I got an out-of-town friend that's in town, and we had to make it happen, bro. Legendary MC in the game of Vancouver, BC. Well, that's where you're based, isn't it? My brother, the MC, Emotionz.
Hey.
Side door ride.
Good to see you, brother.
How are you?
Great.
Yeah?
Long time, man.
Yeah, bro.
Good to see you on your side.
Yeah. Hey, have you not been here? You've never been here before, no?
No, I've toured a couple times. This
That's
is my third time to England.
Damn.
Yeah. But we never linked on this side,
No, we
always
didn't.
in North America.
That's right. We was talking about our history and all that sort of stuff just before VT, weren't we? You know, there's a lot to cover. And I love that with particularly with artists that come from another country. It's mad how we share the same, fault lines of our way of thinking creatively.
It's true. A lot of us came up on the same guidelines, same music, same art, stuff like that, but it could be the other side of the world.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, we had MySpace. I think MySpace and Facebook was just starting or some
Don't
shit.
date us too much.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, dude. But for real, the connectivity's crazy, and we got a lot of MTV to thank for, so to be able to communicate and talk about stuff like this,
Yeah.
rock steady, and you know what I mean. It's good, isn't it?
True that.
Yeah.
It's good to have, that's something I would have had on my wall growing up.
Yeah,
or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
someone from New York in the 70s or 80s might have had on the wall growing
Yeah.
up. So keeping that going.
Keeping the culture moving, isn't it? Is that something you firmly believe in? You like, you like that idea of preserving culture for
sure. I feel like hip-hop culture, as a language, is kind of how me and a lot of my friends and my sisters learned it growing up.
Mm-hmm.
With breakdancing and graffiti and DJing and knowing how to write the culture, rocking it, wearing it in your clothes, knowing how to beatbox, it's kind of everything. Not just picking one thing that you're good at and you wanted to learn. We were kind of all I want to learn everything.
Yeah.
And we kind of all fell into what we were better at.
Yeah, of course.
Or whatever, but really learning how to walk it, talk it,
Yeah.
beatbox it, cut it, whatever. right?
Embrace the whole thing, innit?
Yeah.
Because, you were talking about dating us. I remember as a kid, though, distinctively, I know I was never there when certain songs came out, but if I had to do my research, I'm I'm going to go back to the source. Okay,
sure.
What is this breakdance thing? What is this graffiti thing? What, hip-hop was kind of the vessel that, it was almost like a new form of jazz, the way people, nurtured the culture.
For sure. And then respecting its, bloodlines or where it came from.
Yeah.
So, same with me. I started doing hip-hop in the early 90s, but I was obsessed with movies from the early 80s, like Beat Street, Wild Style, Style Wars.
Yeah.
That was a lot of my foundation, and we'd watch those things all the time. So even in those days, as 13-year-olds and, young kids we're paying homage to, way back.
Yeah.
And infatuated with that too.
Yeah, bro, you have
we
to.
want to grow up like that.
Yeah.
I want, there to be battles, and I want there to be painting on the rooftops or whatever.
For real. And I don't think we was the only one that's thinking that, because that era of backpacker, raucous, what do you want to be when you grow up? Full-time B-boy making... it was a romantic idea, but everyone else was feeling the same thing. It's this isn't that shiny suit rap ain't for everyone, and we're going to do things differently. And that culture suddenly got raised again, didn't it?
Totally.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It was almost like an anti-culture.
Yeah.
For the more... I see it happening nowadays, too, with kind of how it's out there, some trap shit is gone and whatever. that it kind of sparks underground movements or no, I want to do something completely different. Or, you know, or even with clothing, things like Supreme and like really high-end like hype beast or streetwear shit is kind of, I think, making kids start making their own stuff.
For real,
I
it's
want to
true.
cut my own jeans up.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to make my own bandana out of some crazy materials and stitch something into it.
It's
And like,
so sick.
And nobody's got this shit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, it's way better than your $2,000 T-shirt or whatever. Like,
it's so like, because it's
like
precious,
that.
it's yours, you own it.
But almost to cause that in the pressure cooker of culture is all this overpriced shit and overhyped stuff and people trying to pay their dues with money.
Yeah.
You know? Could I pay to be down?
Yeah.
Could I pay to be cool? And it's like,
Bro, I talk about these cues that I see outside Supreme. And it's like, this is cool, but like, at what point do you say to yourself as a consumer, I'm just going to look like everybody else?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's when I think of Supreme, I still think of like Harold Hunter,
Yeah.
the kids movie,
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
the
yeah,
guys who originally started it in
For
New
real.
York, which is dope to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But then thinking of like the kind of new hype beast stuff. You know, I love gear and I love clothes and I collect shoes and whatever too. But it being everything that you got or like finding who you are through that is a bit much. you know?
Yeah, it is a defining yourself through the thing that you wear to the point that, forces you to be queuing up with everybody else to get there at 9 a.m. to buy the hot new thing. It's like, but that's just like giving yourself a self-status maybe that to other people that not only are you down, quote unquote, but also you can afford it and
exactly.
how relevant you are and shit, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, it's trying to say more than just rocking something fresh or whatever.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's a weird culture, but it's good too. I mean, look at those
hell
brands
yeah.
like a brand like Supreme starting in the hood in New York and being
It's amazing.
so like skate culture and hip hop, morphing those into one.
Yeah.
Plus, it was some of like, you know, the first black skater kids who brought more hip hop to like the punk white skater kids, and then it all morphed into one kind of cool cultural
Thrasher as
movement.
well.
Yeah, so I mean, all that's so important for everything to be where it is.
Yeah.
But now, as they've sold that company, or you know, I tried to get into the Palace store here yesterday.
Good
And
luck.
they pointed down the block. They go, the line is down the block.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
the
have to go
other
around
side,
the corner.
yeah.
I was like, what?
I know, it's no joke,
Oh,
bro.
real?
It's like that's the thing with London that's really weird. Is like they do it with Carnival as well. Is like when it comes to things like that, there's a weird formality, and as soon as something gets a little bit out of hand, like there's a complaint, it'll be like, you know, the house across the road doesn't like the queue, you know, and it's just like, bro, chill. You bought the house for a reason. You wanted to be down. You wanted to be around.
That's true.
And as soon as like, I don't know whether it's a marital thing. Maybe the chicks the wives have certain issues, like security issues. The fact
Or it
that
starts bugging them, or, you know.
And then,
I've always thought that about people who buy flats and apartments above nightclubs and then complain. There's a huge ass nightclub under your apartment and you bought it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, it's so loud out there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hello.
buy a different place.
Bro, I mean, you see where I live, and we were talking about this before we came in. It's like, you choose your moments when to record. That's when the buses and all the cars ain't there. Other than that, you just got to grin and bear it because you're paying for the location. You're paying for the...
Exactly.
Yeah.
An inner city, what are you going to stop the city? I'm trying to sleep, city.
Yeah,
Calm down around me. You're right in the middle, dude.
Dial down a little bit,
Get some earplugs. You know, like.
I tell you what, though, man, Vancouver's always been like one of the most beautifulest environments. It's not. I don't even class it as city. It's just like it's its own micro-managed piece of awesome. It's just so
tight.
beautiful, you know.
I love it there, man. In and out, I've been there my whole life, you know, and just having the Pacific Ocean downtown. You know, you could be walking around downtown and walk right onto a white sand beach with palm trees.
That's
you know?
so sick.
And then you look behind you, and you're surrounded by huge mountains that have ski hills and snowboard hills on them.
It's just
And
mad.
even in the summer, the mountains are full of snow up on the tops.
Yeah.
So it's like,
How's that work?
you know,
That's
it
crazy.
feels like California at the beach or downtown. It's got the inner city thing, but then there's so much nature, and we have old growth rainforest, and it's cool. I love
And
it.
yeah,
there.
and the water, the sea, and also there's a aqua kind of. Whenever I think of it, Vancouver, aqua windows and skyscrapers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of big glass, and all our new buildings are just glass and metal.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice, man. It's beautiful there.
And
there's a lot of culture. Like,
bro.
hip hop to me isn't really per se united as a culture there, but as far as spread out, there's so much talent and so much going on.
For real.
You know, I know for a fact that there's, per se, like rap groups who are in their basement making sick shit. Like, there's no one else in this city. And probably in the basement next to them, there's another rap group. Like, man, there's no one in this city, man. It's just us doing this. Bro. In the next house is a DJ. Like, there's no one doing it.
So it's like, a personal thing, isn't it? There's not one binding, like, who knows who kind of scene. It's more like people are just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I've been there over 30 years, and I still meet people all the time who have been in the city for a long time and have a whole career and all this shit going on. I've never even heard their name. Wow. I have no idea. I've never seen them. I'm like, what? You've been here? And them too. Like, what? This is a big city, In the surrounding areas, there's like 3 million, I think.
Wow.
In the lower mainland. So,
damn.
And then right in the core, there's 1 million people.
So what, 4 in total or 3 in total?
3 in total with the outskirts.
So you wouldn't think neither because of the spread of it. It feels so open and fresh.
Yeah.
And I love as well. I love it the way that you can be downtown. Was it Robson? Is it Robson? Right. So you can be on Robson and you do one slight turn and you can look out straight into sea and hills.
Yeah.
That shit, that is it for me, bro. Like, I love it.
Being able to see the nature from the middle of the Matrix. Like,
the Matrix. Tight. Yeah. The city is so tight. And even like the homeless people, even the most punkiest of punks are cordial. Mm-hmm. There's a level of cordialism. Well, actually,
they're pretty polite homeless people.
Yeah, they're pretty. Yeah.
I feel like Vancouver. I call it Seattleitis.
Hell yeah.
When everyone's an artist.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like we have. Like, so it's a blessing and a curse because no one really wants to be fans. Yeah. So as far as being supported as an artist is tough because the next person's like, yo, I got an album too. Or, yo, I do graffiti too. Or, yo, I DJ too.
Bro, that's so true.
So no one wants to be in the front row geeking out and just like, I love you. Like, it's not really like, it's more like a, I'm creative too. And even if people are feeling you, it's more like a, how am I going to outdo them?
That's
or
amazing.
how am I going to make something more creative?
Wow.
Which is cool in itself. And that makes you create something cooler too. But the support thing is tough. And nobody really wants to be a useless tit. And just be like, I don't do anything. I'm just a fan and I love all the cool stuff.
Yeah, it's like that's not good enough.
Yeah, exactly. Opposed to like, I feel like down south and a lot of places in the States, they'll have a few rappers or a few standout artists from their neighborhoods and communities, and then everyone supports. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They get totally behind it.
Yeah, like we're all behind. He's our person, not like we're all the person.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, man, that's one thing about the states that I loved. It's like you could make good bread off of just your one state if you magnify what you're doing hard enough and intensify your core audience. Yeah. Yeah, West Coast always had that kind of thing going on. Even San Francisco, like loads of creative people. But as an artist, this actually is a troubled area, I think, for most artists as well. It's like when do your core fan base suddenly when does the door open and people that are just not even associated with you, aren't in music, aren't tastemakers, aren't anything that have been checking you, are just super fans? Like, what does it take to unlock that door?
No one knows the exact recipe. Yeah. But I feel like it might be that one thing and sometimes people have many things and it's different for different people. Like, say someone like Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah. I wouldn't put it to one particular song that won them all their fans. But over time, there's been so many different little increments and things and solo albums and group albums and music videos and whatever. Who knows? But maybe, one fan is like, I saw Mystery of Chess Boxing. That was it. Like, I loved them for life. Or the next person heard the beat of Tears or heard Cream or whatever stuff, right? Yeah, so it's a different thing. And I feel like the more you keep chipping away as an artist, you never know. Yeah. Like, which thing's going to hit. It's true. I was telling you, Maklemore is one of my homies from back home. Yeah. And just seeing him be an amazing artist. Like, we had rap crews together in our high school years. And we were all like, yo, this guy crazy. Like, and his whole crew. Like, there was a lot of them from Seattle. But nobody really picked up on it. Maybe 10, 12, 15 years later, he made Thrift Shop, which is already kind of a gamble to make a song about thrift shopping. Yeah. It's definitely not a no-brainer. Just make a song about thrift shopping. And while everyone else is rapping about how expensive their car is or how much money they spend, he's making a song going, I want to save money and buy cheap clothes. Like, is this a hit? Like, but it was.
It hit the conscious, didn't it?
Yeah, and I've always felt like he has very conceptual songs, very smart.
Yeah. Bro, what was that one he done with Furious 5? Was it
Oh, that was crazy. The Town, I think it was called.
Bro, that was epic.
And to do that, I heard that got them all their first platinum records. So Kool Moe Dee, Melly Mel, all of them. That was their first platinum record.
That's amazing.
They got the plaques, like for him to go back and be like, yeah, like Grandmaster Caz, Melly Mel, Kool Moe Dee. Most people don't even know who those people are. To go back and go, you helped the people who helped me. He didn't even grow up in that generation. No. Those weren't like who he listened to. No. That was who he listened to's people that they listened to.
Yeah, totally.
So to go back that far and go, they deserve plaques, man. They deserve Grammys, or they deserve like some awareness for what they started, and it's helped so many people.
That shit is so sick. Like if you were to do anything contributive to a culture, I think that's got to be like the highest. That's got to give you the highest praise. I got nothing but love for that.
Yeah, no, me too. And his first like massive stadium tour when he was really big, they're like, you got to choose all your openers, you know? So he wanted to choose one of his favorite old school ones and a new artist that he loved.
Oh, that's fire.
So he chose Talib Kweli and he chose Big Crit, which is amazing.
Damn, that's crazy.
I'm like, whoa. Like, you know, he wanted Talib there. Like, that was my dude when I was growing up. And then Crit he's like, yo, this guy's amazing up and coming youngster. So
that's so fire. See, look, he's just raised the bar for me, this guy. You know what I mean? So let's go back. We should definitely go back on this subject. So you growing up, when did you get into like MCing? Like at what point were you at school?
I guess I was in school, yeah. I started rapping when I was 10, 11 years old, kind of playing around and freestyling and beatboxing and stuff like that. And then by the time my dad has always been in a rock band.
Ah, wicked.
So I grew up with recording studios in my house. So my first song I recorded, I think I was 7 years old. You know, just singing.
Damn, son.
Yeah, I did a song about the ocean. Whatever, like
born into the business,
yeah,
Wow.
like that. So by the time I was 13, I was borrowing, 8 and 16 tracks to record songs with my homies and trying to learn the equipment in the basement.
What?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. So, just playing around, and it was never a serious thing till kind of my mid-teenage years. Started being like, and I had a crew at that point. And started being like, yo, let's do this every day.
Sounds very organic. Sounds like a calling, like you were it's what you were here to do.
Completely, yeah. And I had a construction job in 2000. And it was when I had just finished high school, and I worked all summer and made small shit money doing the craziest work, climbing up to the 4th floor on scaffolding with stucco coming down on me and whatever. Fuck. And I did this one huge festival near Vancouver called Shambhala.
Oh, yeah.
And I sold CDs and shirts at the festival. Yeah. And I made as much money that weekend as I did the whole summer. Working my fucking ass off. And I quit that job, and I never worked a non-music related job in the last 19 years.
There's a thought. You know what I mean?
I was just like, you know what? I never have to do this labor shit again because I got some other ways to be creative and make a living, and I have more to give in other aspects.
How old would you have been at that time?
It's 18.
18, yes.
Yeah.
Same kind of trajectory as me. Once you find your thing, it's like it makes it impossible to. Yeah, that's it. That's all it is.
And then you almost feel like you're straying off course, or you feel like you're blowing it to do other things,
Yeah, the plan B thing never works out. You've got to go all.
Yeah, it's cool to have multiple ventures, but when they're not something you're passionate about, once you've done something that you really love, then you want to wake up. It's hard to even sleep sometimes when you're that passionate.
Isn't it the best?
You're dreaming of waking up and doing what you love.
Yeah.
So you want to wake up early. You want to stay up late doing it. So if something that doesn't give you that drive, you're just like, even if it paid $1 million a year, you'd be like, oh shit,
for real.
Going into the office today and like, kind of feel like I'm not doing what I should be doing.
It's funny,
my God-given gifts.
Yeah, that's the truth. Because you know what's funny is like we have these conversations quite a bit on podcasts about like how lucky we all are as creatives to at least be at a level. It doesn't matter how far up the level you are, but to have a level where you don't have to go to work is just a beautiful thing. Here's an argument though, because there's a counter argument that that you speak to some of my friends that don't do music, and they still find it really hard to believe that you would go into a crowd and sell your shit. It's like, yeah, till what time? Till 2 o'clock in the morning? What, you're going to be handing out CDs and shirts and and you had to pay for them shirts and you have to sell them? You know what I mean? That's their attitude.
It's true. And in some ways, at least people who have 9-to-5 jobs leave it at the job.
Yeah.
I know you're on the same thing as me, like we can't really turn it off 9 to 5. So that's the thing is artists are working 24. Yeah. Even when you're trying to do other stuff, you're seeing your family at dinner or you're going on a date or outside of stuff, it's still going in your head playing. And you're still taking notes and you know what I mean?
Anything that gets in the way of it is like, oh no, I've got to do that. Well, I really want to do this.
Yeah, so it becomes, you know, semi-obsessive and you have to learn that balance and when to kind of just take a little time for yourself outside of it or whatever.
Is that a creative curse, do you think?
It's a blessing and a curse, you know, to be, just have something that you love that much, but you can't really turn it off.
Yeah.
Or it takes a lot to turn it off. And I think some people, even like the most extreme jobs, like a paramedic or someone who drives an ambulance or something and sees blood and broken bones and whatever all day, they get off and go to a nice dinner and they're not even thinking about it.
How does that happen?
Like, how do you do that? I'm still thinking about the song we made yesterday and be like, should I change the other bridge or the chorus or like?
Oh, bro, leaving a tune behind to let it, it's the hardest, isn't it? Yeah. Because in your head, like you got it in a certain. Well, it's not even that. Your head plays it so much without hearing it. It turns into something. The song turns into something it's not. And then you go back to the song and you're like, okay, it's not like that. I've just got to tweak. And next thing you're back in the mix. It's like, here we go again.
Back at it again.
Yeah.
It's almost like songs are like a painting, you know? And some of the best paintings aren't that complex. So you don't want to keep adding and, you know? Yeah. You can kind of just nerd out and go, oh, shit, I should add some more. Or nothing. No, you ruined the painting. You added too much. It was already perfect. So it's kind of like knowing that simplicity to keep, but also doing enough.
Yeah, that's right.
It, right? And that's a hard balance for any artist.
So true. Couple of analogies. When you're looking in the mirror and you're about to go out, like they say, you know, take one piece of jewelry off. Just take the one. I think that's, you know, so that you know that you're balanced out. Yeah. Because sometimes you can put on too much or something, but take one thing off and then you're just right. Yeah. It's the same thing with like music, right? It's like, it's true. Yeah, maybe you don't want to put that saturation on. Maybe you don't want to over EQ certain, you know, leave a song sound to be a song sound, you know?
Yeah, totally. I feel like some of my favorite singers of all time have had kind of messed up voices, like a Janis Joplin, or Anthony Kiedis, or like these aren't technical singers who are like hitting every note perfect. They miss some notes, and that's almost like the pain in their voice. And you hear a little, oh shit, they were partying last weekend. You hear a couple things, but that's that soul, right? God, yeah. So the perfect imperfections are sometimes what makes the best art or the best music.
1000%, bro, right? Like, I don't care if, like... Well, Lars Ulrich, right, from Metallica, right, he said, when does art ever finish? You know? He said that is like... He was talking about some art he had, and he was like, you know, but when does a song ever finish? Because people hear it and they add their interpretation to it and shit.
They could remix it.
Yeah. And then it's played live and shit. Yeah. And nothing I love more live than when you hear somebody really fucking going for it. And it may not sound entirely like the original record, but fuck, they're doing it, you know? And you can tell by their voice they're living it.
Totally.
That's the best artist, isn't it?
Yeah. That has more impact than somebody who hits something perfect every time or can emulate something exactly. You know, it's kind of those off things that make it original or give you your own twang on it.
It's so true. Actually, talking of which, in terms of like deliverance, and this is where we come together, because in 2002, I get over to Vancouver. I can't remember what tour it was, but maybe it was a one-off. Might have been a one-off. And I was doing soundcheck my first time there. For me, those were really significant shows that even on a level, what was it? Yeah, for 2003, 2004, maybe even that. You know, the numbers on these venues were huge. And I just remember...
Big venues, man.
Big venues, bro. Commodore, it's still there, right?
Yeah, it's 1,200 people.
Still, yeah. They were packing them out. This was like...
you were playing packed spots like that.
But you were like... A couple of times we did shows. And I just remember... seeing the tenacity in this young guy, you know what I mean? It's like hunger and it's like, it was anxiety-fueled performances, and the beatboxing was sick because it was always, you would always rap and do the beat. You know, you were doing full fucking verses, but this is like some of the most undocumented stuff. Like, Emotionz, you were the first fucking dude I ever saw to rap a whole verse while doing the beatbox. Yeah. That shit's insane when you think about it, even now.
Thank you, man. I learned that. There was a Seattle rapper, props to A-Sun, in the 206. This guy came up to Vancouver and would be like, yeah, you know, sometimes I rap and do the beatbox for myself. And I was like, What? And you're just like, how you peeing about the shit? I'm gonna put the
What?
Yeah, just had all his kicks and snares and would just kick freestyles like that. And I was like,
Come on.
whoa, like you don't get anyone to beatbox for you just do both? And he's like, oh yeah, like I don't want to depend on someone for the beat. I'll just make it.
Oh my.
And that just mind blown. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh shit, I've been doing way too less.
Yeah, dude. Isn't that the way?
Yeah.
Bro, that's exactly what we were saying earlier about, like, you know, social media and how, like, the emphasis is more. And the things that you see people doing more of, that ups your game. And then you're all of a sudden, like, the levels are like, imagine if people saw you do that now.
Yeah.
What, like, I mean, I'm sure they do. I'm sure you must.
I've seen some here and there, but yeah, it's still not really a thing.
No,
right?
it's not a
Yeah.
thing, which is insane. Like, when you think of, because I know you're an avid beatbox follower as much as a
For sure.
partaker. So all the new beatbox sounds that are coming out is incredible. But I still feel like sometimes there's a lack of mastery on the whole beat and singing at the same time.
Oh, for sure. That's a hard one. And
Yeah.
I don't even know if anyone's done it as good as, you know,
Yeah.
Rozelle
Yeah.
and you and
For real.
first, like, some of the forefathers who
Yeah.
started
Rozelle
singing
was the
and
man for
beatboxing,
that
you
shit.
know. Yeah, I mean, I still hear some of the best beatboxers trying to do If Your Mother Only Knew.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's aight.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe you should just,
I'd rather hear Rozelle in like 92 doing it. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
totally.
whatever, right?
Yeah. I mean, shoot, they sound patronising me saying it. I think what it is like that as a cover. It's almost like a beat.
Yeah,
It keeps
it
the
is.
name and the relevance to that shit. What he did was so fundamental
Mm-hmm.
to you know.
Yeah, like I could learn all the Fat Boys beatboxes and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
never gonna be as cool as the three fat dudes
Yeah.
holding pizzas.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally,
making the
bro.
shit
Yeah.
In the moment, like, so I'm just doing a cover.
Yeah.
But them doing it in the moment is a different, like, oomph, and being the ones who created it.
Yeah.
You know? So that's like any great song throughout time. Like, anyone could do a cover of, you know, Smells Like Teen Spirit or whatever song, but you didn't write it or make it.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to see something and just copy it. You know, there's artists who paint Picasso on the street or paint any famous artist and can do it almost exact.
Yeah.
Only an expert who does that for a living could even call it if it's fake.
Yeah.
You know?
For
And
real.
It still sells for $10.
Yeah.
The ones 30 million in a museum and the ones, oh, but that's not the original.
Yeah.
That's $10 if he paints you that.
Damn.
It's like-
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I think the thing that really caught me with now and thinking about it with the Rozelle, like If Your Mother Only Knew thing, was it wasn't a tune, it was an idea. And then all of a sudden,
Totally.
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's not a song, right?
No, it was just an idea. And
Yeah.
that idea, just that little idea, arguably has created all of this.
It's pretty true.
Yeah.
Because there was a big gap between like Dougie Fresh and Fat Boys and like
Yeah.
the old school 80s beatboxers. I feel like they were beatboxing because the batteries were so expensive for Ghetto Blasters.
real? I think so.
Oh, you need 16 double Ds?
Yeah, fuck that.
No one in the hood had 16
Yeah.
double Ds. Are you kidding?
Let alone one of those boomboxes.
Yo, kick
like,
a beat, man.
Yeah.
We couldn't get the batteries.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But
That's
then-
how it happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shit happens like
That's
that.
how I started.
Yeah.
My homies would be like, "You're the only one who could keep the beat going,
Yeah.
and without the rhythm messing up, keep going." I got slave labor.
Yeah.
Had to beatbox for 8 guys to rap. Like, yeah, keep it flowing. But same thing. So I feel like with Rozelle and that new era of beatboxing that came out, that kind of might have spawned the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's true.
Do you think like the aid of like an album like his, because obviously like
His album
yeah, I know,
wasn't good.
that's what I'm saying.
It-
but I think
but
he
I
needed
don't
it.
know if anybody has really made an amazing beatbox album.
No,
any
no.
artist in the world. I don't really know one that
No.
I would like put in my top 100 albums or something. You know?
Yeah, if you look
It's
back, yeah,
tough.
for sure, yeah.
it's tough. Like, how do you turn mouth music into an album that's as good as music
Yeah,
with every instrument, with any singers on it, rappers, all the best
Yeah.
voices, mixing, engineering, mastering, you know, effects, whatever. Like, two lips and a tongue is hard to be as good as infinite things.
yeah, totally.
Right.
The infinite sound of an album from
Yeah,
a normal artist.
but people knowing that it's just two lips and a tongue and a mouth,
That makes all the difference.
it's almost like a crutch. They're like, no, but they just made it.
Ah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
amazing, you know?
Oh, bro, it's so true. It's like I always give the analogy of like, you know, putting a one-man band that you see on a corner doing the whole thing with
Yeah.
drums on the back and all that, you know.
Yeah.
Very English, actually, to be fair.
No, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean, though. You know, you can't put that on an audible album because it takes away the spectacle, which is, you know.
Totally. If he did it one at a time, just laying down like a snare, it's not very entertaining.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like everybody just boom, boom, or just like track by track.
Yeah.
It's not that entertaining. But when they do it all as one, you're like, God damn, what's happening?
Yeah,
You
the
know?
Napalm album.
Same with like, you know, spoon players. You seen dudes play spoons
Yeah,
or whatever? Like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not listening to any spoon albums
totally.
at home on my own time. When I see a dude playing 30 spoons and like rocking the beats and everything, I'm like, God damn, this is crazy. Like,
Isn't that true? I mean, there's loads of comparables to that, and what makes it harder is like, even if you did do it, I mean, Napalm's album, you heard this one?
no, I haven't.
Swissbeats
I'm a
put it
big
out.
fan of his, but I haven't heard
Check
his
this
album.
album out. He does it all one take, or what seems to be sounding like one take. Yeah. And I think that's the most comparable, like, well-defined what a beatbox album should be and is going to be, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than an idea. It's comprehensive. Like, I think it's like 8 or 9 tunes. And
Wow.
I've never heard it been done before like that. But of course, it plays in our minds. Oh shit! Well, yeah, we of course do that. Oh, we should have done that.
Yeah. While everyone in the studio is going, now you have infinite tracks.
Yeah.
Be creative. Bring in trumpets. Bring in other stuff.
You
whatever,
fuckers.
Right?
You know?
You should have just let us beatbox.
Yeah, totally.
No, but that's
Hindsight.
cool. I knew someone would, you know, eventually people are going to figure out that formula, how to make a good one. I've always thought the key to a good beatbox album would be there's just beatbox elements on every song,
Yeah, that's right.
you know, and then you
Really
bring in
humanized,
features.
humanized stuff.
Like, you know, this one I'll get Maverick Saber singing on this. I'll do a beatbox here and get this crazy other rapper on. I'll get Tech Nine rapping over this double time beat. I'll get, you know,
Bro, it makes so
if
much
someone
sense.
did something like that,
Yeah.
you know, you're bringing in like famous guitar players or horns or whatever. Like, but everything you can tell has a human element.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's him on that part, or he's singing the melody, or he's making the drums with his mouth, or you know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I still get stoked when I hear like Timberland or Justin Timberlake even beatbox at
Yeah,
the
don't-
boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh shit, he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's tight.
AG Dentistry. In my line of work, not only does what I do with the mouth get reviewed, it's also my instrument. And it's beyond important to me that my teeth get the professional service they deserve. The AG family provide expert dentistry, whether it's NHS or cosmetic. They're the finest in London. Head over to agdentistry.co.uk for more information on treatments and prices. AG Dentistry.